ESPN torched the New York Jets in their latest rankings, ranking New York a bottom three roster in the NFL. Are ESPN's concerns viable? We'll talk about that and much more, all coming up here on a Monday edition of NY Flight Jets Talk, joined as always by the great Nick Faria of Jets X Factor, baby. Let's go.
Jets, Jets, let's go.
Jets wide receiver Wesley Walker. Wesley, how you doing today? ESPN writer Mr. Rich Cimini, Jets reporter for The Athletic, Mr. Zach Rosenblatt, Hall of Famer and Jets legend Mr. Marty Lyons.
Your host, Connor Law.
What is going on, everyone? Hello and welcome back here into another edition of NY Flight Jets Talk right here on this Monday, July 21st, 2025. Make sure you smash that like button and hit subscribe on your way into the building. It's completely free, and it really does help us grow significantly right here on the channel. Make sure you get all your questions, comments, thoughts in the chat, and you can call into the show with the pinned comment. Don't forget to load up all your super chats, your gifted memberships. Every $2.99 super chat or gifted membership gives you an opportunity to win a Wayne Corbett, Lavernius Cole, Santana Moss signed photo, Don Maynard signed photo, Al Toon signed photo, a free item from our merch store, and a channel emoji alongside a signed frame Sauce Gardner photo. So make sure you get all your super chats and memberships in. Great way to help support the show, and you get an opportunity to win some super cool prizes. Appreciate all of your support as always right here on the program. But nevertheless, let's bring on our special guest joining us every single Monday right here on the show. It is the great Nick Faria of JetsXFactor.com. Nick, training camp kicks off on Wednesday. Players report tomorrow. Players speak to the media tomorrow. Great time to be alive.
It's a great time to be alive. Absolutely. 4 hours away from the first practice. Going to be a very exciting and quiet time for the New York Jets.
If you ask ESPN, though, Nick, they don't think it's going to be an exciting time, an exciting season for New York. They ultimately ranked the Jets the 29th best roster in the league, listing the biggest strength as the cornerback position and the biggest weakness as the quarterback position. Justin Fields at the helm, obviously Sauce Gardner leading the quarterback room again for New York this season. Nick, 29th is what the Jets roster was ranked. Fair assessment by ESPN?
No, I would certainly say not. I think you can find a lot of teams out there that are far less successful as the Jets going into this upcoming season. Very few teams have a number one corner like Sauce Gardner. Fewer teams have a top corner with a top receiver and a young offensive line like this. So while I do think they are not within one of the top 20 teams of the NFL, calling them the third worst, I think, is a little overreactive.
Absolutely. Look, I think the 20s is certainly a fair range overall to put this team. I'd put them more, though, in the 25 and the 26 range. I think 29 is a little low. I think they should be ahead of the Giants. I think they certainly should be ahead of the Titans, who are one spot ahead. I think you can make a case to be placed before the Atlanta Falcons on this list. Look, Nick, the bottom line is, if you just look on based on what these players have shown throughout their career, not taking upside into account, the 20s is certainly a fair ranking. But if these players come in and hit their ceiling, if Justin Fields is able to come in and hit his ceiling year one, what I think is a top 15 quarterback in the NFL, I think this ranking could completely change a year from now. I think you could be looking at New York a year from today with a top 15 overall roster here on this list. But I always come back to the point that these rankings do not mean much. Last year, Mike Clay, who wrote this very paragraph, friend of the show, had Mike on multiple times, great guy, had the Jets going 15-2 and winning the Super Bowl. The Jets finished the year winning 5 games. So all these predictions are fun, but in the grand scheme of things, they ultimately do not impact the future or what's going to happen with this organization, Nick. I wanted to get into this next, though. Seth Walder, listed the 2 tackles for New York, the 2 first-round picks over the past few years, Olu Fashanu and Armand Membu, as the X factors for this team this season. Do you think that's a fair assessment? How much of the success, I think, of this team is the question I'm going to ask you, do you believe hinges upon these 2 players?
1,000%. I don't, if you're not going to be able to run the ball, if the Jets cannot run the football effectively, they are going to lose and lose poorly throughout the entire season. And while I do think that if we were to name a true X factor, the obvious one is going to be Justin Fields, because if he wins from the pocket, they're going to have a lot more chances to win games this year. But at the end of the day, this is going to be a run-first team. And being able to run the football effectively means that their offensive line has to be among the best in the National Football League and most consistent as well. So I think calling them X factors, fair, but this is the most important group for the team going into next season, because if they play well, they're going to win a lot more games than people realize. If they play poorly, it's going to get ugly, and it's going to get ugly in a hurry.
Absolutely. I think everything starts in the trenches, and we've seen that throughout the Jets franchise history for better and worse, and it's been worse over the past few years as to how poor the offensive line has played in recent years and how much it's affected this team's overall record. Aaron Schatz, who also contributes to these reports, these rankings, year in and year out, listed Josh Myers as the non-starter to know here on this list, a guy who may not be a starter, but fans should keep an eye on here. Nick, thoughts on Myers, and is this center competition really true? Is this just something that's being stirred up by the fan base, Nick? What's happening with this alleged center competition in Florham Park?
Well, it's not being stirred up by the fan base. It's being stirred up by the team. They bring in Josh Myers on a 1-year, $3 million contract, and then Aaron Glenn essentially says that Joe Tippmann's job is not safe at starting center, even though you look at the tape and you look at the numbers, he was a top 10 center in the league last year. So I think most people are a little surprised that those comments were even made, a little bit surprised that they were even in this particular situation. But at the end of the day, this is where New York is. Josh Myers they're going to need another offensive lineman in terms of depth. That is where someone like Myers can come in and do a serviceable job. So all of that makes sense. I think at the end of the day, this is going to be Joe Tippmann's job, mostly because you don't want to create weaknesses on the roster when you don't have any. If Tippmann plays as well as he did last season, the offensive line is going to be really good. Josh Myers, at his best, is nowhere near where Joe Tippmann was last season. That is just an objective fact. So we'll wait to see what happens. Maybe this is just to get more competition out of Tippmann, but at the very least, it's going to be quite interesting to see what happens in center over the next couple of weeks.
Certainly, and obviously with training camp on the horizon here for New York, obviously veterans report tomorrow. First practice is on Wednesday. We're going to see all of this unfold, and I do want to kind of transition over to training camp next year. Nick, you've written a few articles over at Jets X Factor. Overall, who do you think? What player do you think is under the most pressure as training camp kicks off here in Florham Park in just 2 days?
Oh, Justin Fields, obvious answer, but I'll give you someone else, Brandon Stevens, the corner. Outside of Fields, he was given a long-term contract that many people were surprised with. A lot of people coming off a down year in Baltimore did not think Stevens was going to be worth $12 million a year. He got that money in New York. Then they draft A.Z. Thomas in the 3rd round, who looks very, very good in off-season workouts. Is this a simple case where they may move Stevens to safety? Is this a case where Stevens is going to play a corner until they feel A.Z. Thomas is ready? That's a massive question mark. So we are going to find out if Stevens is worthy of being an everyday starter at cornerback. At the very least, his signing is going to be one of the more interesting ones going into camp, because it just feels like his spot is no longer as secure as we once thought.
Absolutely. Brandon Stevens, obviously a name to watch. I'd throw Xavier Gibson kind of into that same bin there as someone whose job could be snatched right away. A name that I wanted to, a situation that I want to get into is the Justin Fields situation. Obviously, he's going to be the starter for this team week 1, and I think a lot of people believe he has this leash where he could be the starter all season long, Nick. My follow-up to you by saying that you think Justin Fields is undoubtedly under the most pressure. How long is his leash? How long can he play incompetent football potentially in the regular season before Aaron Glenn, Tanner Engstrand might have to make a decision and go with Tyrod Taylor as the starter?
I think he has a longer leash than people expect. I really do, because he would not have come to New York without the guarantees of he's going to be the starting quarterback, and he will not be benched if things go poorly or if there's inconsistent play. He is QB1 today, tomorrow, and throughout the 2025 season. I think his leash is going to be far longer than Jets fans and most NFL analysts are probably comfortable with or expecting.
Okay, so Justin Fields, you heard it there, guys. Justin Fields has a longer leash than a lot of people are expecting. I think that's such an interesting question, though, because obviously the Jets made it clear right out of the gate since they signed Fields that he's going to be the starter for this team. And we all know things have gone upside down for Fields real quickly. And I'm a Justin Fields fan. I think Justin Fields is ultimately going to be able to stick out and thrive for this Jets team. It's just going to be intriguing to see truly how much patience the Jets have with Fields if things do go wrong and things do go haywire pretty early for New York. I want to transition though, Nick, before training camp to the free agent market. There are still some names out there that could be a little interesting for New York. A name that was cut loose just yesterday is Noah Fant of the Seattle Seahawks. Obviously, it's no surprise that the Jets do need help at the tight end position. The Jets do need an established pass catcher still in my eyes. Nick, Fant to the Jets doesn't make sense.
Nope. And because Mason Taylor has signed his rookie contract, I am a firm believer that he is going to get significant playing time early. And then you have guys like Stone Smart and guys like Jeremy Ruckert who will be part of this offense this season, whether fans like it or not. You're going to see Ruckert on the field this year. That's just the Ohio State connection, Justin Fields, all of that goes into account. You're going to see Jeremy Ruckert. You may not see him as much as Mason Taylor, but that, again, of course, will be decided out in training camp. At the very least, though, they're not going to sign a fourth tight end because then you would have to release one of these guys, and I just don't feel like they're going to release Ruckert or Stone Smart at this point.
I don't think they will, but I think it would make a lot of sense, Nick. I don't think it makes sense to keep a guy like Jeremy Ruckert, who's had now a 3-year leash with this team, retain maybe a guy like Stone Smart, who, yes, you did sign in free agency. I'm looking at Stone Smart. I think he needs to establish a role during the preseason. I expect him to, playing significant reps in these preseason games for the team. I expect him to be, a prominent face on the practice field. I think Stone Smart is really going to need to earn every single rep that he ultimately gets in the regular season from the Jets. Nick, I think we should end with this. You've released a bunch of storylines that you think fans should be looking out for here in training camp. What is the most important storyline to watch?
It's such an easy answer, but again, Justin Fields, what does he look like at quarterback? How does this offense evolve? But I will also give a different one here, okay? Mm-hmm. Referees are back to practice after not being there all of last year. The Jets have been the most penalized team in the NFL in back-to-back seasons. They've been undisciplined. They've been an unmitigated disaster when it comes to penalties. The fact that the referees are in attendance tells me that the Jets are trying to nip this in the bud early on. They want to be disciplined under Aaron Glenn. What does that look like? We are not going to know right away. We talk about the physicality. Fans want the team to be better in tackling. You're not going to tackle every practice. You're not even going to tackle for the majority of practices in training camp. So it's hard to quantify how the Jets will be, how good they will be during camp. The only way you'll be able to quantify it is week 1 and during the preseason games when you see select starters or just select players on the field during those games. So it's hard to quantify exactly where this team is going to be in terms of a storyline, but tackling and discipline are certainly going to be things that this team needs to address.
Nick Faria, appreciate you sparing some time for us, though. You got any final thoughts you want to share with the people out here before we do cut you loose?
It's time to go, baby. It's time to go. Training camp on the way. The Hall of Fame game not too far behind. It's going to be a lot of fun over the next couple of months.
Oh, yeah, baby. When's the Hall of Fame game? A week? 2 weeks from now?
Yeah, something like that. Week, 2 weeks.
I wish it. I love the year the Jets play the Hall of Fame game because I just want football back, Nick. I just want some sort of football. As an NBA fan, we saw it with the Summer League for a little bit. Give us the NFL's version of the Summer League, Nick.
Oh, yeah. It's gonna be great, man. It's going to be great.
Ladies and gentlemen, Nick Faria. Nick, appreciate you joining us as always. Have a great night, and I will see you in 2 days.
Absolutely. Thanks, Connor.
Ladies and gentlemen, Nick Faria, Jet X Factor. Give him a follow. Does great work covering the New York Jets. Appreciate his support as always. He stops by here every single Monday evening. So shout out to Nick. Appreciate all of your support. Appreciate all your kind words in the chat. Appreciate you all tuning in. Make sure you smash that like button and hit subscribe. It's completely free and it helps us all grow significantly right here on the show. Get all your questions, comments, thoughts in the chat. You can call into the show with the pinned comment. Also, don't forget about your super chats and gifted memberships. Every $2 super chat or gifted membership gives you an opportunity to win a signed Sauce Gardner frame photo alongside a Wayne Corbett, Lavernius Cole, Santana Moss signed photo, Don Maynard signed photo, Altoon signed photo, a free item for our merch store and a channel emoji. Just get all your super chats and gifted memberships. And Leany became a member here on the channel. Shout out to you, Leany. We appreciate all your
Here's what I
support.
do know. We're the freaking New York Jets, so we're built for this shit.
Shout out to Laney. Thank you so much, Laney. That is a raffle entry for the sauce photo alongside the monthly raffle as well. So appreciate the support. Appreciate the membership, guys. Keep the super chats and memberships coming. They really do go a long way here on the show. Get all your questions, comments, thoughts here in the chat. Load up your calls with the link pinned at the top of the chat. Chris B is in here. Chris, appreciate you tuning in. Appreciate all your support and kind words. As always, my friend, OG Jets fan, baby. Tommy, what's going on, Tommy? Appreciate you tuning in. This is Connor Long. I appreciate you, my brother. I have a 12-year-old son, and I pray he grows up with an intelligent brain with his own thoughts like you. Have a great show. I will be watching. Tommy, man, that means a lot. Appreciate you. Appreciate your kind words and your support, and thank you for being here right with us on this Monday evening. Your support means a ton right here on the show. Wild Waves in the chat. What's up, Wild Wave? Appreciate you tuning in. I got Caden's in the building. Shout out to you, Caden. Appreciate you tuning in, my friend. Let's see who else we got here. Indy Jets is in the building. Says the biggest anti-Fields guy. That's interesting, Indy. We differ there. I'm a big Justin Fields guy. I think Justin Fields is able to hit his ceiling with the Jets. I'm sure we can, go back and forth about that one time. So, yeah, Justin Fields certainly a polarizing topic with the Jets overall as how he fits in, what impact he's able to make on the team this year. As you guys know, the ones who watch the show every day, I've been big on Justin Fields since this team signed him in free agency. So, yeah, I'm a long-lasting Justin Fields fan right here on the show. Absolutely. Again, keep all your questions, comments, thoughts coming in the chat. Call into the show with the pinned comment. Super chats, memberships, they go a long way. Appreciate you as always. We're going to get to your calls in a little bit. Two more things that I wanted to touch on here before we do get to your calls and we do keep the show going. Someone who a lot of people have tabbed as a breakout player this season, a UDFA last year who made a big impact on the team last year in minimal reps, who I think could be a solid player for this team this season, is Leonard Taylor III. And I really do hope that he breaks out, and I really do hope that he's a solid rotational piece on the defensive line here. But I have a message to Jet fans who believe that Leonard Taylor III breaking out is the saving grace overall of this interior defensive line group. Well, I'm here to tell you that I disagree, because Leonard Taylor III is not the run stuffer that this team needs. It doesn't matter what his technique is as a run stuffer. It truly doesn't matter how efficient he is as a run stuffer. The bottom line that it comes down to is Leonard Taylor III is under 300 pounds. Leonard Taylor III is 6'2". A breakout season for Leonard Taylor III is emerging as a reliable backup behind Quinnen Williams. Yes, that's great. I think having someone who you can give Quinnen a rest on, a couple downs a drive, that's obviously a valuable asset to have. But I'm just saying that a Leonard Taylor III breakout season, guys, isn't the saving grace of the defensive line. And that doesn't wash away the fact that there's no true run stuffer as of now on this team. Those are my thoughts on Leonard Taylor III and why I think if he truly does break out and he has a great campaign, which I hope he does. I hope he has a great sophomore season, and I think he has the potential to, but more as a pass rusher. I don't think Leonard Taylor III is going to be able to wreck the game from a run defense aspect than I think a lot of people expect. So those are my thoughts there on Leonard Taylor III. I just wanted to throw that out there because it's the time of year now with training camp coming up where breakout players are tossed around, things of that nature. And Leonard Taylor III was a name that I've seen a lot come up in a bunch of different conversations. So I just wanted to set the record straight on what I think there. Again, appreciate the support as always. Smash that like button, hit subscribe. It's completely free, and it really does help this channel grow significantly. Questions, comments, thoughts, you could throw those in the chat. Super chats, memberships give you an opportunity to win a Sauce Gardner signed photo, which comes in a frame alongside a Wayne Corbett, Santana Moss, Lavernius Cole signed photo, Don Maynard signed photo, Altoon signed photo, a free item from our merch store, channel emoji. Please, please, please. Super chats, memberships if you can. They really do help the show grow. If not, it's all good. Smash that like button, hit subscribe. That helps us just as much We're on the road to 2,000 subscribers. Let's get there before the start of the season. We were on pace to do it before the draft, and then things did slow down. Let's get there before the season. We're currently at 1,876. Make sure you smash that like button and hit subscribe again. Free. And it helps when more Jet fans find us. We have a bunch of fun content coming up tomorrow. We're going to do, we're going to try to up the ante a little bit with, doing more shows now that training camp's coming up. We have 2 shows tomorrow. Tomorrow at 8 p.m. with Justin Freed, the Jet Press, and then tomorrow at 8 a.m. as well. So 8 a.m. for all the Jet fans out there. Michael Nania of Jets X Factor will be joining us on the show. So early show tomorrow, 8 a.m. EST on top of the 8 p.m. show. So certainly stay tuned for that, all of you Jet fans out there. Appreciate you guys. As always, let's go over to the phone lines. First up today, joining us on the show is Tommy. Tommy, how you doing? Appreciate you joining the show.
Connor, what's up? Long time no speak, my man.
Absolutely. How you been, man?
Good. I'm not going to get into the Malachi Corley because I think me and you kind of agree on the same opinion. He only been in the league for 1 year, and I think we should give him a shot. So I'm not going to really get into that. What I was actually going to talk about was from Jake's earlier show when Nick Shine was on. He made a very he said something in like when Jake asked him a question about like what do you think are surprising, like what are you going to look out for, what's most important other than the top 5 things Jake said, and Nick Shine said it's our third defensive end, and I agreed 100% because I know JJ's coming back from that Achilles. And the way that JJ is and the way that he trains, like he's a complete monster beast. I love the fact that he's a Jet. And I have full confidence that he will be back. But let's be real, it's an Achilles. And it might take you 4, 5, 6 weeks to get back to 100% where you were at. And then the thing with Will McDonald, he can't really tackle the run for anything. And he had a good year. Yeah, he had a hell of a year. But, like, is that a 1-year fluke? Or can he put up 10 sacks again? And then if Indy Jets, I don't know if he was joking or not. He said that Clemens? Clemens, yeah. If he thinks Michael Clemens is going to get 10 plus sacks,
Yeah, he's joking, I think.
I hope he was joking because Michael Clemens will be very, very lucky to even make this team, and I wouldn't want him as my third defensive end because yes, he's strong, he's big. He's a monster. I would want him as my security guard. But as a football player, he's dumb as shit. Like, he doesn't know how to follow the rules. Even when you tell him something, he's flipping off the fans. He's sitting there like he doesn't know football. Like, his brain is not all the way there. So, like, our third defensive end, if we don't pick up somebody, like, who's really going to be our third rotational defensive end? And I'm scared to death of it.
I've been talking about that question for a long time now, Tommy. I hope it's Zadarius Smith. This is the name I linked the Jets to at the beginning of free agency. He's still available. He's a 9-10 sack a year guy, despite being on the back 9 of his career. Played with Aaron Glenn in Detroit at the end of last season. Zadarius Smith is the name I'm looking at, but I don't think they're going to add another free agent in-house. The guy I'm looking at right now is Eric Watts. This is a guy who came in as an undrafted free agent last year, was a very, very, very efficient player when it came to stopping the run, gave you some pass rush upside, I think Eric Watts is going to be the main guy alongside Rashad Weaver, who's a name the Jets signed in free agency this offseason. Those are the 2 guys I expect to kind of go head-to-head for this job.
You don't think Jadeveon Clowney, you don't think they're signing anybody like that? You think it's going to be like a free agent or somebody that gets dropped off after training camp from another team?
I think they have a better chance of signing Zadarius Smith than Jadeveon Clowney. Jadeveon Clowney's well into his 30s. Does he have something left in the tank? Yes. But Darren Mushi's clearly shown he's more enamored with these younger players who have upside. Right. Neither does Zadarius Smith have upside, but at least he's been a part of this scheme before. That's what I ultimately circle back to.
And Connor, I'll let you get to other calls, but real quick, I just wanted to say you made an amazing point when you were talking to Jake because they can keep just to go back to the Malachi Corley. They can keep Malachi Corley and Arian Smith because they're both slot receivers. But like you said, they're 2 completely different slot receivers. You can have Malachi Corley as your third and be in that like little switch, gadget type of guy. And you can have Arian Smith as your fourth as the speed burner because Arian Smith is not going to run nobody over. If he gets the ball in the 5-yard backfield, he's getting killed. Malachi Corley can make something happen. And Malachi Corley can't run down the field and beat anybody flat out with his speed. So they are the same type of height and they're the same type of height, same type of frame, but two completely different ball players. Like one wants to hit you and take your head off. One wants to run past you and catch balls. So I see that there could be a possibility that they keep them both. Like, who the hell's Alan Lazard? If I see him drop a ball right in his hands in the first game of the season, and they cut Malachi Corley, I'm gonna go right to Jake and say, Jake, so we kept Alan Lazard instead of Malachi Corley after 1 year. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah,
that's
I'm
my
gonna be
argument.
really frustrated if they cut Malachi Corley. I'm not gonna understand it.
Anyway, Connor, keep doing what you're doing, bro.
Tommy,
Have a good night.
appreciate it. Thank you for the kind words. Great call. Appreciate the call right here on the show. Appreciate all of your support as always. Shout out to you, Tommy. Appreciate tuning in. Smash that like and hit subscribe right here on the show. Comments, questions, super chats. Get those in the chat. Super chats, memberships. They do earn new raffle entries. Let's keep it flowing with your calls. I was about to go to Indy Jets, and then he dropped off. Indy Jets, you were next time you rejoin, I think you might have been dealing with some difficulties there. Rejoin the studio and we will go to you, my friend. Appreciate you. Appreciate your kind words and support right here on this Monday evening, guys. Things are going to heat up here. More shows on the channel. A lot more to talk about now with training camp kicking off in just 2 days for the Jets. Players report tomorrow. Rookies have already reported for New York. Veterans report tomorrow. Rookies reported yesterday. 2 days ago, actually. July 19th is when they reported. So, yes, that's what's on the horizon here for the Jets. Big news coming up and a lot of stuff to look forward to. He has rejoined the studio. The great Indy Jets joins us next here on the program. Indy, what is
Good evening, Connor. Congratulations on the win of your Azzy. That's gonna look great on the shelf behind you, man. That's you.
Like,
you are,
is it an actual trophy?
From what Dylan was talking about, Dylan's getting a trophy, so I don't know why you wouldn't.
I had no idea. I had no idea, Andy.
It may be made of chocolate, but hey, whatever.
Even better.
Yeah, but if you keep it up, you're going to be in that category with Dylan next year.
I appreciate that.
And then you've got some real competition. So keep it up. Great work. I want to touch base on the Michael Clemens thing because I know you're going to think I'm absolutely out of my mind. I know how you think about Michael.
Oh, you're
Clemens.
being serious.
Huh?
You're being serious.
Yeah, I'm being serious here.
All right, I want to hear this. I actually want to hear this. I'm not.
Okay. Yeah.
I want to hear this.
So we all understand that Michael Clemens is a physical beast from the neck down, and I think he's going to get some more discipline under this coaching staff, which is going to bring his IQ up a little bit. But I think what they can use him for is basically. Where he struggled with is setting the edge and going after the quarterback. He can't figure out how to do both. If you told him to go after the quarterback, that's what he's going to do. If you told him to go set the edge and stand there so nobody comes around you, that's what he's going to do. He's how a quarterback is a one read quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
Michael Clemens is a one read defensive end. I know it sounds crazy, and so what I would do would have Sherwood or Quincy, whoever Quincy, whoever's back there at the pre-snap, give him some kind of signal, and all that is dude. All I want you to do is just go set the edge. You go around, you set the edge, because in that wide 9 that he was running before, or that he was in before, that was just too much space for a guy that's got too much space between his ears. Does that make sense?
I get what you're saying.
Okay, so right before the ball snapped, they're gonna shout out. I use the old Peyton Manning one, Omaha, and Quincy goes, or Quincy, Michael Clemens. He just knows what that means. It's the quarterback. It's the only focus I have to do is get around this guy, and I'm going for the quarterback. And it doesn't matter what happens because we've got a Quincy or somebody that's going to come out and set the edge for me, or they're going to yell out, some other clue for him to go set the edge, and we got the middle. All I need you to do is just go set the edge, because if you let him think on it, Connor's
there we go.
gone.
No,
Oh,
I
there's
still heard.
back.
Yeah, I don't know. My camera just flickered off. Yeah. All right, we
Yeah.
got
But I get that if you let him think on his own, he can be a disaster. But I think if you guide him, I mean, physically, he's got all the tools. I don't think anybody's really complained about the tools that he has. I think it's all mental. And so take that out of the game. You
too
just tell,
slow, in my
Huh?
opinion. He's too slow. Like though this, and I'm okay with keeping Michael Clemens in the right role. I've spoke about this. Like,
yes,
I think Michael Clemens has potential. The role I think where he would fit is Aaron Glenn tells him, you need to put on 20 pounds. You're going to suit up and be interior depth for me. That's the way I think he fits on this team.
well, and you know what, they could start him out, you know, as that JJ replacement, and as he's gaining weight and as JJ's coming back, he plays some defensive end, plays some little interior, starts putting it on a little bit, gets to play both a little bit. But I don't think you can give him just the free reign like they did before and just and put him out there. I think you have to tell him what to do and where to go. And hey, I just need you to go get the quarterback right now and just go put some pressure on him. That's all I want you to do, and we'll set the edge. Okay, then that's about the only thing he's good for is something along those lines where you can be very specific about what I want you to do at each play. Now that puts a lot of pressure on somebody like Sherwood or you know Quincy or whoever it is that's going to be relaying that to him. It could be somebody from the sidelines that just holds up a red card, green card. You know how they do in college. You know, but I don't know why. Could that work for Clemens? What do you think?
The way I look at him, he's the perfect definition of like he's kind of in like the NFL purgatory for defensive linemen when it comes to like I think he's too big to be a defensive end and he's way too small to be an interior defensive lineman. Like even it's great that you thought that out. I understand it was a great logical point there. I just don't think he has the speed to get to the quarterback. I don't think he's fast enough to get home. The way I think he's utilized is as a run stuffer, a guy you put in there on, you know, third and short, whether it's on the inside or the outside, and to deny the run. That's the way I think he fits in on this team. And and again, I've tried everything I can to love Michael Clemens. I can't.
You know what do you think about, you know, so you got Will McDonald on the other side, and Will McDonald's, you know, shown that he's got a little quickness to him.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and so you think that's going to make the quarterback drift away from Will and maybe get closer to the slower guy? If you're just telling Clemens, go after this guy, and then we do realize it's going to be slower, and you just send both of them out, and you know, and you know, at the quarterback, whatever. But they're going to drift away from the faster guy, which may help Clemens too. You know, that's my only thing that I see that he could even make the team is if they dumb it down enough to say, you know, okay, go do this, and that's it. And then the next play, they got to tell him. And I think that's the only way he continues to make this team, because you can't. He's proven you can't allow him to think for himself on the field.
His situational awareness is so poor.
Right. That's my 2 cents is that you just cannot allow this guy to think for himself. But if you can control that, he's got the physical attributes, I think, that could succeed to be at least a reliable part-time player anyway. I don't know. But that's my 2 cents on Michael Clemens. I other than that, if they can't figure that out, then I don't think he has a place on this team.
Indy, appreciate the call.
Appreciate it. Thanks. Keep it up. Keep up the great work.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Indy Jets checking in with us right here on the show. Indy, thank you so much for your call. Appreciate your kind words and support as always. And I appreciate you all in the chat. Make sure you smash that like button and hit subscribe. Going to wrap up here soon. So last chance to get your final questions, comments, thoughts, and last chance to get your super chats and memberships entered to win some of our fun raffle prizes. Appreciate your support as always. Keep hitting the like button. Keep hitting subscribe. Guys, it does not cost anything. It is completely free, and it helps our channel grow so much right here on the show. Trying to hit 2K subs before the start of the season. So be a part of that journey. Hit that like button and hit subscribe, folks. Appreciate all of you guys. Appreciate all your support. Appreciate your kind words as always, right here on the show. We're going to wrap up here soon. So again, thank you all so much for all your kind words. Stay tuned. We got some fun stuff coming. We're going to try to do 2 shows a day now. 8 a.m. EST tomorrow. Michael Nania of Jets X Factor joins us. Then 8 p.m. EST tomorrow. Justin Freed of the Jet Press will join us. So 2 shows tomorrow. Stay tuned for that. Stay tuned for all the fun stuff we have coming. So get ready. 8 a.m. early show tomorrow with Jets X Factor's very own Michael Nania. Like I said, appreciate the hell out of you guys. Appreciate your kind words. Appreciate your support right here on the show. Hit that like button. Hit subscribe. That'll do it for me right here on this Monday evening. I'm your host, Connor Long, signing off right here on NY Flight Jets Talk. Have a great rest of your evening, everyone. And as always, JTS, Jets, 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 baby. Peace.
Can't wait.